Our Voice of the Voter coverage continues for you. There are also ballot questions in individual towns today. One question for the town of Eliot is leaving a few people there concerned.
News Center Maine's Caroline LaCour spoke with residents about question 10, which looks to implement a new shooting range license ordinance in town.
Along the rural roads of Eliot, ballot signs have been popping up over the past few weeks. Many of them referring to question 10, an ordinance that would set up ground rules for anyone looking to set up a commercial shooting range in town, whether it's indoors or outdoors.
Residents have the right to shoot on their own land. So we have a neighbor over there and there's another neighbor over there.
Ann Sweeney says the area is no stranger to the idea, with a shooting range already located in town. However, she, like many others, believe the new ordinance may not be a good idea.
Yeah, it was a real shock, and I'm not even sure how it got on the ballot because it's so innocuous.
If passed, Article 11 would lay out guidelines and restrictions for potential license holders.
Anybody could come here and have a shooting range as long as the piece of property is 3 acres or more.
Owners would also be required to provide proper instruction to anyone firing a weapon and have sufficient video monitoring of the property.
I think the ordinance was well-intentioned. I just think the process that resulted in this particular ordinance maybe fell short.
Like Sweeney, Philip Swanson also disagrees with the ordinance. With no restrictions on where a range can be placed, he says it might pose a future problem.
Unfortunately, I think the language that was included in the ordinance is lacking and problematic. And I think the result is going to be, a fairly loose ordinance.
The town select board voted unanimously to recommend to voters they approve of the ordinance. But when News Center Maine reached out to board members for clarification on residents' questions, we did not get a response in time for this story.
There's nothing stated about the proximity to houses or churches or schools or walking trails.
Some residents believe if the ordinance does pass, it should be reworked to specify those details. In Eliot, Caroline LaCour, News Center Maine.
And State Representative Michelle Meyer, who represents the town of Eliot, sent News Center Maine an additional statement on question 10, saying in part, quote, "This shooting range license ordinance lacks other important components necessary for a full-fledged shooting range ordinance. I don't think it is wise to implement just a licensing of shooting ranges, and that the proposal is an invitation with none of the necessary regulation to ensure safety and quality of life."